My name is Kat Albrecht and I'm with Missing Pet Partnership, and today I'm going to talk about how to catch a displaced panicked cat. If you've been on our website, missingpetpartnership.org, you've probably read the information on the difference between when an outside access cat vanishes versus a displaced cat, like an indoor only cat that escapes outside, and how humane traps or baited humane traps are a primary way to recover your cat. So I wanted to show today a couple techniques that we use. This first one is just the standard baiting of the humane trap. We prefer using what's called the True Catch trap. You can find these at truecatch.com. They're probably not going to be available in the local hardware store. Most of those will be different brands that are like a stainless steel. But we like these traps because when they're triggered, they're much quieter. So if you have access to traps like this, either an organization or an animal shelter, a trap neuter return group, or if you have the time to order one of these traps, we do recommend these, but otherwise any other type of the trap that you can get at a hardware store would work fine as well. What I like also about the True Catch trap is that it has a wildlife door in the back that enables you to be able to easily place the bait in there. So I'm putting my cat food in the trap. I've already, just now you saw me lift the rings and set the trigger so that when the cat that we're trying to catch enters the trap, steps on the plate and triggers it, the cat will be caught in the trap as it's going in there for the food. Now there's other steps involved that we recommend, such as baiting the area with cat food. If I'm trying to attract cats, and potentially you're also going to get raccoons and other cats in the area, but if you know that your cat is out there and you're trying to catch him, you want to have the scent out there where if your cat is a distance away from it, it's going to detect the scent. So oftentimes I will take a can of cat food and rub it on branches up above, or if this was set on the side of a house and there was a carport there, I might on the beams of the carport spread some of the cat food. I'm wanting to get the canned cat food as high as possible, and even on branches of trees. I've done that before, in order that that scent is going to be carried by the wind and it's going to attract in the animals. Now, one of the limitations with setting a trap without using the wildlife camera is you can end up catching a lot of wrong cats. That's why in another video or on our website you've read information about using a digital wildlife camera first, so that you can make sure that the cat, in fact, that your cat, in fact, is coming out to eat. So I'm going to assume that you have already done that you have set up the wildlife camera, you've caught your cat on camera, you know your cat is in your neighbor's yard, and now you're going to be setting the trap and being out there to monitor it to make sure that you are there when the cat is caught in the trap. Now there's a couple ways of doing that. You can sit a distance away and be watching the trap. You can monitor the trap with a baby monitor. You want to make sure you get a baby monitor that the distance from where you will be, whether you're going to be sitting in your car or sitting in a garage or sitting inside of a house and the trap is right outside, you want to be sure that you're within the range of that baby monitor working, so that when the trap is triggered, you will have the receiver and be able to hear the fact that the trap has gone off. Another device that you can use is a driveway alarm. That's a device that is set up, normally set up that it will beep when a car enters your driveway. You can get those, set the beam so that anytime something crosses the beam or enters the trap, it will set off a beeping alarm with the receiver that you have inside your home with you. So those are just some techniques of ways that you can monitor the trap without actually sitting out there with the trap. There's an additional technique that we have used a few times, and that is using what we call a MagnetCat. That is, if you have a cat that you know that you can put in a carrier or a crate and it will meow and make a lot of noise. You can use that as a attractant to attract your cat to come into the trap. We've used this successfully on when we had an intact male show cat that had escaped outside, and we got a female cat that was in heat, put her in and used her as the bait, and it worked beautifully to catch that cat. We've also used this on cases where people own more than one cat, and the other cat that's still inside their house that had not escaped outside, we have used that cat to meow and create the noise that we want to attract the outside, or I'm sorry, the inside cat that had escaped outside. So I'm going to demonstrate that with my cat Myron right here. Now, Myron is actually not a good cat to use for this because he's what we call a target cat. He's one of the cats at Missing Pet Partnership. He's turned around. Come here, Myron. He's one of our cats at Missing Pet Partnership that we use to train dogs to find missing cats, and he's actually trained to crate quietly. So he's not the best cat for this job because he's not necessarily going to meow, but we just thought we'd bring him out and make him work today. But I wanted to show the concept of how you set up the MagnetCat, and that would be you would set up your the humane trap as normal, including putting the bait there at the end beyond the trigger plate. You would put your MagnetCat at the end. Again, it would be a cat that would be meowing. For the purposes of the video here, I'm going to shift this so you can see head on here. And oh, there, Myron is letting out a little mew. And then pretty much the only other part is you want to cover both the trap and you want to cover the crate, because what you want is that you're creating like a tunnel effect. Now it's going to limit the scent that's coming out because you're covering it. Not that there won't be cat scent and food scent that wouldn't be coming out of there, but you're really using the MagnetCat because of the sound. But that's why it would equally be important for you to be chumming the area, we call it, when you're, or pre-baiting, where you'd be smearing canned cat food in the area so that the smell is out there. I often will also dribble little dollops of the cat food going in. I would also be using like a piece of cardboard insert here on the floor so that the cat would not be necessarily stepping on the wires, and so that it would eat a little bit and come in. But this right here creates the tunnel effect, where the only way that the cat, when it's hearing the meowing MagnetCat, will be able to investigate that cat is when they come in here. It feels like a nice quiet little tunnel to them. They will end up walking in here to meet Myron, and if I can find the trigger plate under here, step on the trigger plate, and then they'll be caught. And then they'll be making friends with Myron. So again, that's the concept of using the MagnetCat. Sometimes we have found that that it will take something like this to jar the displaced cat that's out there hiding in fear for it to break cover and come to the trap or respond. It may not have responded to food yet. Also on our website is a little bit of information about what we call the threshold factor. That is a behavior, consistent behavior that we've seen in displaced cats, that when they get outside, they oftentimes will hide in silence from anywhere from 7 to 14 days. We think it's because they need to get to a threshold or a point where they're either hungry or thirsty enough that they finally respond. But oftentimes, initially, in the first several days, even up to the first week, they're out there, they're close. You may be looking in that area calling for them, but they're not responding. So just because you don't see and you don't hear your cat does not mean it's not right there. You need to make sure that you're focusing your search, especially with a cat that escapes outside, in a very close proximity to your home. Now this depends on the temperament of the cat, and our website goes into this and talks about the different temperaments. And there are occasions where a cat will travel farther, but in many cases, many cases, the cats are very nearby, hiding, and something with like food or a MagnetCat can help to get them back home. So thank you very much.